standpoint in our organization. Was it nice having somebody other than me to like Colton talk to and to be able to work through problems and things like that? I mean, how valuable would you say to other leaders that they should have a mentor like Andy that their teams can reach out to have these unvarnished discussions with, where they can express their fears and their doubts and their, work through problems and things like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and incredibly invaluable, because what it allows us to do is kind of get a third-party perspective.
Yes.
We understood, the core tenets of the Academy leadership philosophy, and this idea of, really a Socratic and empathetic leadership culture. We understood all that theory, but bringing that into practice and going from classroom to practical execution, being able to work with a third party, you might have a full set of tools, and different things that maybe, Dean Houston hasn't historically done. Not that we don't have a great set of tools, but it allowed us to take in this third party perspective, and having somebody from the outside who could take this from theory to practice with us, along with everything that we were doing internally. I think what it did was really fortify and give us so many different tools that we could use that maybe we wouldn't have if we tried to resolve all this internally ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's our objective. Certainly mine, but it's Academy Leadership's too, is how do you affect change? We don't just want to do a course. You sit in a hotel room for ballroom for 3 days, and you go back and life goes back to your 400 emails and 20 voicemails and whatever, and nothing really changes. It's not the objective at all. The objective is to deliver those tools, but then see that they get applied. And so even when we were together for 3 days, it wasn't like 3 days of death by PowerPoint. It was a lot of discussion, trying to think through what have my experiences really been, and conceptually, how do I add some of these new ideas into that, and what would I do different? So you guys were all keeping journals about what am I going to do different, and so on and so forth. So part of it's the way we use this adult learning cycle to try to help people bridge that while we're together about what they're going to do different. And part of it is fairly unique to our program, and part of yours, therefore, was this coaching, the follow-on that is included. It's about 3 months worth of that where we're checking in, but that's a once a month check-in, but more often because I'm always available when needed. And then we did some group coaching with the Elite 8 and 7 Up, the two groups.
That
were their names.
Yeah.
As they worked through that, I remember you invited me to that. We were doing some group coaching things too. And
I think the critical thinking element that you bring to that is really what it brings. So first of all, the training, they know how to assess and look at things and do critical thinking, on these things. In this moment of crisis that we are now faced with, it really gave them an opportunity to do the critical thinking. They hadn't really been there before, and so now they had somebody else they could reach out to,
exactly,
and kind of work through, then come back to me. And I got to tell you, it was phenomenal, and then, so.